Hey guys, Matt Rosenblum here with David Strug. How's it going, David?
I'm doing great, Matt. How you doing?
Doing really well. Thank you. So today we're going to talk about LinkedIn strategies for generating leads for life coaches. Yeah, David, what are your initial thoughts about that?
I think it's critical these days. I think LinkedIn is amazing for generating leads, regardless of what industry you're really in. A ton of people are continuing to join every day, and as long as you know the right process and you don't start spamming people, but you start following the right process to connect with the right individuals, it can lead to a lot of success for you. What about you?
Yeah, I totally agree. There's this new kind of like new way of getting clients, and it happens on Messenger outreach. The thing is, like in my professional opinion, when people do it on Facebook, I don't like that. Like I have this bad taste in my mouth about it. I've tried it myself, even just because I'm like, I need to test something before I knock it, and it just doesn't. It's not really a professional platform where I feel comfortable selling anything on. But
Mm-hmm.
it's different with LinkedIn. LinkedIn, people expect it's an appropriate venue. People expect to kind of be sold to in a way, so
Yeah.
people are a lot more open to random people connecting with you because that's the whole point of the platform.
Absolutely. You make a really good point. I think it's important that people start using each platform for the purpose of what it is there for. Facebook would be great to share a couple videos, some content, videos, and, some update people on your status or what you're doing. But in terms of starting to start trying to pitch people or sell people on your service, I mean, I know there's a whole Facebook ads component, which is, it works a lot. It works really well for a lot of people. But if you want to start connecting with people one-on-one, I agree with you. I think LinkedIn would be a great channel to do that for sure.
Right. And as you speak about like what is the channel for? Like at the end of the day, Facebook is really, I mean, aside there's all this stuff that goes into Facebook, but at the end of the day, it's really just about like connecting with your friends. And so like it's not really appropriate to sell, although like many people have found ways to.
Hmm.
But it does feel a little. The most natural way to sell on Facebook, in my opinion, is Facebook ads, and that's kind of weird. It's like advertising is the most natural way to sell, but doing
Yep.
it organically, it doesn't feel um, appropriate.
Right.
LinkedIn, what is the point of LinkedIn? Well, it's kind of the opposite. It's like people are on LinkedIn to expand their network, to get exposed to new business, to meet
Hmm.
professionals.
Hmm.
So it's a much more natural medium to sell on.
Absolutely. If people are not on LinkedIn, you need to be on LinkedIn right now and start connecting with like-minded individuals and start sharing some great content with each other.
Yeah, and especially if you're offering a service that is like you're not trying to offer a mass service, but something that you're delivering to one or a small group of people, like coaching. So it does depend on your market a little bit. It's easier to target people on LinkedIn if you have if you're targeting by industry as opposed to targeting by like some sort of internal feeling.
Hmm.
And that's kind of a big thing is many life coaches target by internal states, internal feelings, but you can't really, those are not observable behavioral traits. So there's
Hmm.
no way to really find those. There's no way to really search for those things. It's harder to market that, although that could be part of the positioning, but it's
Hmm.
hard to actually find those people since it's not searchable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, honestly, LinkedIn gives you such a unique breakdown. If you're not familiar with the platform, I've been on it personally for the last 5 years, 6 years, and there is a tool that you can actually use called Sales Navigator. So you can actually, I believe there is a little bit of a cost to it, but there is no better, in my personal and professional opinion, there is no better search engine tool
Hmm.
to target your marketplace in one-on-one engagement than Sales Navigator for LinkedIn. So I would definitely recommend if you are going to be using LinkedIn as a prospecting tool to download that.
Right. Yeah, that's native to the LinkedIn platform, so it's not
Yes,
external. And I use Sales Navigator. I think it's like 79 a month or something, but it directly gives me a return on investment each month. As long
100%,
as long as you're using it enough, it's very well worth it.
100%.
Um, Kind of a cool thing that I learned recently was Bing ads. Like as you know, Bing is owned by Microsoft.
Hmm.
Um, and it's obviously nowhere near the size of Google, but it's five times as Google's 5 times as expensive as Bing, and you can actually target Bing ads by a LinkedIn profile. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like you can
That's very interesting.
LinkedIn targeting with Bing ads.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a platform that's interesting because not a lot of people are advertising on it. But that's kind of a side note, anyway.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. I just learned that the other week, actually a couple of days ago, and it's kind of interesting because it's a platform that hasn't yet been like it's not oversaturated really with advertisers yet in the same way that Facebook and Google is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they gotta survive somehow, I guess, right, against those monsters of companies.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
And like LinkedIn is a lot less saturated than Google or Facebook too. Although it's definitely a competitive thing, and which is why it matters to have really specific targeting. You'll notice a lot of people like who use LinkedIn a lot, they'll get pitched like 5 or 10 times a day. So it matters a lot to have positioning that stands out versus, who you're targeting, what you're offering, and not going for a sale too soon. Because if you go for a sale too soon, you come off as transactional, come off as sleazy. No one trusts you. No one wants to work with you.
Right.
You build trust and value before you sell.
So let me ask you a question then, Matt. So how would you go about, you establish, your profile on LinkedIn. Now you want to reach out to a prospect. What is kind of the sales process that you use or the prospecting process that you use that's been successful for you?
Totally. Well, one thing to know about LinkedIn, in my opinion, LinkedIn groups are really bad. So if you go in any LinkedIn group, 90% of LinkedIn groups you go into, there's no interaction at all. It's just people promoting things. It's kind of the opposite of Facebook, where you're not allowed to promote anything, and it's interaction.
Right.
So I would actually avoid LinkedIn groups unless you're using it to find your target customers, that's a good way to do it. Like you join a LinkedIn group, and then it gives you a list of everyone you can connect with. That's valuable.
Yeah.
The other thing is feeds. They're okay. Like the feeds, if you're commenting and interacting with people's content, that could be okay. It could get you somewhere. But what I notice is the best way is just the messenger platform. So you just message someone, you start a conversation, you give away some value, and the value that you give away, in my opinion, should not be transactional. It should not even be sign up for my discovery session. It should be like something that's really genuinely, purely adding value to them without it feeling like a sale at all.
Absolutely.
So I've had different kinds of ways to do this. Some things are like, I tried a thing where I'll connect with someone and then I'll be like, hey, I like what you write about. I would like to promote your content. And like, that's something that's nowhere. It's not at all a transaction. It's just like a way for us to build familiarity.
Yeah, 100%.
Doing anything further. So it's you kind of have to be clever with it, and there's no template for coming up with that. But if you're a life coach or a career coach, it might be like, you offer negotiation. I use this lightly, but like if you give them a negotiation guide or like a career resume guide, it may or may not work. Linking to something on Messenger tends to not be that good. You'll get a response like, thanks, if you link to something, which is not really the response you want. Because articles are not really native to the LinkedIn Messenger platform. So it's kind of like you can offer something like, hey, I want to get you in touch with a recruiter, or like, hey, let's do a mock interview about, like that'll help you get the raise you want or help get the job you want. You have to create it.
Right.
That's what I've learned really works. Because if anything else, I've tested a lot of things with me and my clients, and it's just that when you go into some sort of offer too soon, it's just people ignore it.
Yeah, your intentions have to be actually building a relationship and want a long-term business relationship. You're just looking for the quick sell in anything. I mean, it's gonna you're looking for the quick dollar, it's not going to work out for you in the long term.
Yeah.
So you have to genuinely be interested and provide value, like you said, and that really builds trust and credibility to your image, to your brand, since your business is you. And yeah, just really offer up your advice when you see you can. And again, when you see videos or photos or comments from other people that's in your network, take a second, not just to write not just saying, oh, great post or great photo. Actually listen to the information, dive deep.
Yeah.
Be like other people. Don't be like everyone else and just, put a thumbs up. Actually take the time to write a few sentences and to show them that you actually listened, that you can also maybe share a little bit of piece of value, add on a piece of value to what they were saying in that post. It just going the extra distance. It resonates with the people you do want to work with. Because I know for myself personally, if I'm putting up posts and I just get a bunch of thumbs up or a bunch of likes and 5 or 6 comments just saying great post, that's great. But if I had someone who actually took the time to write 3 or 4 sentences and adding value or asking a question or just adding to my topic, that resonates with me. So
exactly. That's a really smart and strategic way to add value, is like to just show up and give a really thoughtful comment on someone's post.
Yeah.
Or just comment on their profile. That's like one thing to do. That's adding value, honestly. Like, instead of, it feels tempting to like be like, you connect with someone, you link to one of your best articles, and then you do something else. It feels in a way that's not adding value, because people don't want to read articles when they're on the Messenger platform. In other platforms, that's really appropriate, like if you're on the feed or if you're on Twitter. But on the LinkedIn Messenger platform, they don't really want to link out to some video or article.
Exactly.
So maybe even just making a comment about their profile or about what they do and having some interesting, engaging remark, that's enough value for them to be like, now I trust you.
Yeah.
And it starts a real relationship.
Absolutely. I agree.
One interesting like exercise is like, for some reason it's online. We're tempted to automate things. We're tempted to take shortcuts.
Yeah.
If you're in person and you're at an event, you're probably not going to go up to someone and be like, here's my article, like really, really quickly. Like, and you're probably not gonna be like, yeah, like thumbs up, like I like what you do. Like you'll actually engage with them like they're a real person and talk with them, like have a really deep back and forth. And you might even spend like 30 minutes on one person, just going back and forth with them. That's the way we need to think of online relationships too, is instead of trying to automate and like just really go fast with all these prospects and go over like quantity over quality, spend a lot of time on one at a time, and then trust that that'll lead to something, as well as like one relationship. That person, if you spend a lot of time with them, they'll share you with more people. So it's scalable in that way.
And here's the huge advantage you get on LinkedIn opposed to just meeting someone in person at an event is you go on their profile, you can research where they went to school, where they worked previously, any mutual friends that you guys have together, connections, and you can really dive into their history and then bring that up in conversation when you first meet them, or send out a message saying, hey, I noticed you went to this school. That's awesome. My sister also went there. How did you enjoy? Or, just start up a conversation like that. Or, oh, this person, I know this person. I went to college with that person, and it's just easy to build rapport that way when you have things in common. So you want to look out for those commonalities through their history on their profile.
Yeah, totally. Well said. Well, I think that gives you guys enough to play around with for now. If you can apply that and turn that into action, let us know if you have any questions. Just leave a comment on this YouTube video. David, any other closing thoughts?
Nope, that's you said it all. You said it well enough. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. We're happy to help out whenever we can.
Awesome. All right, and I'll talk to you soon, David.
Thank you. Take care.